Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Music of the Week. As always, 6 albums to go through, so I'm going to go through the 6 albums now. We begin with Hands Like Houses, and that first album in about 7 years, titled Atmospherics. A lot has changed since last time as well, since 2018's Anon, I believe the album was called, which was my first album by them. Mostly new singer, ditching Trenton Woodley for new singer Josh Raven. I'm giving this one a B. I feel like it's got some really good moments for it. I think the production and instrumentation are probably my favourite things. I like the overall mix and how polished and clean it sounds, and the guitar work especially is really good. Lyrics are kind of decent to me. I do sort of like the focus on like mental imbalance, I suppose. But first like major issue is, why does the album cover look so low res? Even with the highest res versions of the cover I could find, it still look like you need reading glasses to actually see what the fuck's going on. But also, I think Josh is okay, but I think he's way too generic and he's costing the band a lot of their signature identity. And I think Trenton was a better singer, and I don't think he should have left. I think he should come back. Personally, I think Josh is a bit generic and forgettable. But Josh does an okay job, but the rest of the band really carries it. I think the guest spots, of which there's a fair few, do actually put in more of an effort than Josh does. Pacing is also fine, despite being called Atmospherics. It doesn't really waste time, which I think is maybe my main sort of issue with the pacing as well. It's not terribly handled, but I do wish that there were more build at points, and it doesn't really feel like there's a lot of need to change up the formula, and I feel like that hurts the album a little bit, but, you know, still a B is a pretty solid grade, and I have faith in this new adaptation of them. I just hope that they tighten their shit a bit together soon. Next we have a band who I keep forgetting have been around for as long as they have, Lacuna Coil, with their 10th album, Sleepless Empire, and the first actual full album since 2019. Their remake album that came out in 2022 doesn't count. Remake albums never count. Don't come for me, because you know I'm right. I'm giving this one an A. Holy hell, really enjoyed this one. Love the themes of modern life and redemption, and sort of like battling against a lot of like the negatives of modern stuff in a weirdly positive way, but primarily the one thing that's not like, I like the instrumentation a whole lot. There's some really good riff work, guitar, bass, drums, keyboard work. Shout out to the keyboardist Marco Cotizalati. I'm probably butchering that completely, but I will correct it via the power of editing. But yeah, his production on this is really good, and the mix is really, really tight. Band chemistry is top-notch, excuse my hair, especially between vocalists Christine Scabia and Andre Ferro. Like, their vocals really bounce off each other, probably better than they ever have, or at least as good as they ever have, and this band has always been really fucking good at that stuff. Yeah, great riffs as well, love the layering to them. Solid pacing overall as well. Doesn't waste a single moment. Adds in like a lot of, while traditionally gothic metal, it does add in some really good, I forgot to mention as well, Hands Like Houses, post-hardcore, alt-rock sort of thing. You know, but yeah. Still really good gothic metal here from Lacuna Coil. Good lyrical theme, good production, good performances, solid flow of pace. Yeah, not really many complaints about it. I do wish, I don't know, maybe it could have left like a tad more of a lasting taste in my mouth, but it's still a really good album by a band that's been doing this really well for such a long time, so I can recommend it. Next we have the pretty much mandatory at this point debut by a band named Open Casket, that's Casket spelled with a K at the start, with their album Trials of Failure. I'm giving this one a B-. I feel like, first of all, didn't really like the lyrics, mostly stuff about misanthropic murder stuff, herder, all that bollocks, which I'm really fucking tired of. And also the pacing as well. This is the shortest album in this video, like literally just, according to like Metallum, 1 second and a half an hour, like literally 29 minutes 59 seconds, and it doesn't really do a whole lot even with that short time frame, which is weird because it's got this mix of like death metal and some hardcore punk elements, and it doesn't really incorporate those a whole bunch, but I guess it does decently enough. I think the bands actually do a solid job. The production by Connor Haynes is pretty decent for what it is. I actually like there's such a low mix for the most part. The band's singer actually goes in quite hard too, and I kind of like the fact that Terminal Nation, who is also a band from Arkansas, because these guys are as well, actually appears on one of the songs. I just thought that was kind of cool. And the instrumentation goes pretty hard as well. I like a lot of the guitar and the drums especially the drummer. Is probably my favourite thing about the album, I would have to say. But yeah, this is a band that does have potential, and I really want them to tap into it for next time. Obviously giving them the benefit of the doubt because it's the first go, but hopefully they can take this to the next level really soon. We'll see. Next we go to Denmark, a country I very rarely get to go to, for a band named Frenelith and their new album Ashenworm. So, I don't know what a Frenelith exactly is, I did try looking it up, but it didn't help because all the band's lyrics are in English. But all I know about Frenelith is that it sounds like the noise my dad makes right before he sneezes. Giving this one a B plus though, I thought this was some really nicely put together death metal. I like those sort of grindy elements that they put in. This is still a band early into their career. I think this is like their third album. They're not super far in. Love the instrumentation though, love the style switches which I think help with the pacing. I think the band themselves are really good together, especially the drummer Andreas Nordgreen. He's proper good at the drums and all that, turns out. Don't know why I switched that accent, but fuck it. So yeah, really good work from him. Really good work from the whole band, really. I do sort of like the lyrical themes, sort of about decay stuff. Couldn't really find much for it actually, but I like the sort of narrative storytelling that they tried to do. And yeah, overall production's really good as well. I like how dense and thick things feel, and it can, on occasion, bog down the sound like a tiny bit, but it's not a huge deal breaker. I actually sort of like the stylistic choice of it. So yeah, really good effort from these guys. I was actually pleasantly surprised. I think it was just because, you know, the one before it was not a super great death metal album. It did have some solid moments, so like in comparison, I feel like Frenelith used its extra element of grind a little bit better than Open Casket used their extra element of hardcore, personally. Next, we get a little bit of a reprieval from any sort of metal stuff with the Roman Jacks and their new album Dead Anthems. Now, this is a Celtic punk band from Australia, which I was not expecting. I'm so used to Celtic punk coming from like Scotland or Ireland or some of the states in America, but not specifically from Australia. I liked it plenty though. I'm going to give it an A minus. I quite enjoyed the instrumentation. I like that it worked in the Celtic elements along with sort of more oi and hardcore punky sort of stuff. And I like the vibe, you know. The lyrics are about what Celtic punk is usually about, like the loss and remembrance of people you cared about, which I think is part of why it's called Dead Anthems. But, you know, told in a really good way. I like the stories told. The band chemistry is really good, especially lead singer Mike Groovkeys, who I think plays guitar as well. I just know that he's the frontman at the very least, and he also produced the album. So, alongside Bouncing Souls member Pete Steinkoff. I'm probably butchering that, but again, thanks to the magic of editing, you'll see it fixed. But yeah, really good instrumentation. Love the stories told. Pacing's really solid as well. I like the mixing as well. I think the Bouncing Souls dude handles that quite nicely. You know, I've listened to my fair share of Bouncing Souls. I haven't really heard a full album, but I dabble with them on very, 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 very rare occasions. But I do enjoy when I do listen to them because they're an energetic and happy band. This is an energetic and happy album. I can't think of things. Trying to think of something I haven't gone over. Performance is good. Instrumentation really good. Yeah, good guitar, good Celtic elements like banjo and accordion and tin whistle. Yeah, overall, just kind of a really good Celtic punk album. That's sort of all you need at the end of the day. And finally, we have Saor, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, with the album titled Amidst the Ruins. I say the and not there because Saor is a one-person thing, is a one-man Scottish musician by the name of Andy Marshall, and giving this one a B+. I thought Andy's ability to do just about everything was really good. Like, I wish he got to sing more is probably my main problem, but I think the instrumentation part of it is really, really nice. I like the pacing enough. I do feel like it leans too much into the atmosphere of things. Riffs are really good though. I like the mix of like some really nice atmospheric folk elements with black metal. It's not a style you really get. I think it's the first time I've ever heard it. So if anyone has any other good recommends for it, let me know. But really good mix of styles. Guitar work is really, really good in that case. I like the lyricism focusing on themes like Scottish folklore and myth, you know. I think that's quite good. Production is solid. Doesn't really bog down anything. I just wish that, like, because Andy was the one who produced it, I just wish that he made the decision to let himself sing a bit more. But my main weird issue with it has nothing to do with the album. All I could think about in my mind was, like, the last time I listened to a one-man Scottish sort of metal act who included elements of, like, storytelling, which was Shale, which reversed the Be Like last year, and that album is a lot better than this one. But I still did enjoy it enough, and I still recommend giving it a go if you want some very unique-sounding black metal, to say the very least, because it was a really fun experience. A little bit long, but, you know, it does find interesting enough ways to fill the time up. So next up is the bit where I'm going to tell you what I've got planned for tomorrow, or just basically this weekend. Guided by Voices with the Universe Room, Killswitch Engage with This Consequence, Sarcom with Exceed into Chaos, This is Wreckage with Transaction/Service, Unrequited with A Pathway to the Moon, and Venturing with Ghost Holding. As for my favourite stuff from this past week, I'd say favourite song goes to Some Legends Never Die from the Runjacks album Dead Anthems. I thought it was just a really fun closer and a really good encapsulation of the themes, I would say. Encapsulation, rather. And favourite album cover goes to Friendless Ashram Womb. I just think it looks really goddamn cool. You know, it's a good looking hellscape, and the band logo doesn't really extract from anything, which is really rare. It's also a relatively easy to understand band logo, which I appreciate. I just wish that the album title popped up somewhere, because to my knowledge, it doesn't. That'll about do it for me then. The next thing you'll see me for will be tomorrow night, the halfway show of PBW vs AEW heading to War of Attrition. I can't believe that's only 2 weeks away from tomorrow. That's going to be awesome. And you won't see me for a Let's Play on Saturday because I still need to finish Yakuza 5. I'm really, really close. And then I need to beat Yakuza 6, which I haven't even started on yet. And I don't want to do it until I finish 5. So it's going to take a while until I actually start my next Let's Play, but I promise I'm going to get through as much as I can of it. And I'll see you all tomorrow for stream. So as always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye bye.